I'm Amelia Peterson, and I'm doing the project Circuit Box. Last semester it was called Open Circuit Sim, and I was doing it with Matthew McMullen. But Matthew McMullen is not on the project anymore, and it's just me. So, what is Circuit Box? Circuit Box is a digital and analog circuit schematic designer and simulator. That's what it's planned to be. And basically what that means is users can take their high-level block diagrams of circuits and they can use this program to get it to a point where they can actually print it on a circuit board. And this is kind of what, this is not my program, this is another program that does this, and you can see what it does is, you know, you can get your resistors and your chips and you can put them together and wire them together and see what's going on. You can test them to see if your design actually works, and it helps you to analyze and design and debug before you actually print the circuit on the chip. And this is really useful when your circuit gets really complicated, like this. So what's the motivation behind this? There are already a lot of programs that do this. There's LogicWorks, which is part of DesignWorks, and there's GETA and KiCad. There are a lot of programs that do this. And so why do I want to do it, since there are so many programs already? And I want to do something that has a user-friendly interface, I want it to be cross-platform, and I want an integrated environment. And the first two sound kind of just like buzzwords, but a lot of the programs really don't have user-friendly interfaces, and that's important. So let me get started on user-friendly interfaces. Okay, so this is LogicWorks right here. And one of my favorite features that LogicWorks has is that you can select multiple tools at once, which is really buggy. And so here you can see I've got the current switch selected, and I also have the wire tool selected at the same time, which is really fun. And you can see it gets really buggy. You try to place it, and it places kind of both of them at the same time. And you try to undo, you delete the circuit. You can't select this thing that it's placed. It's just kind of there. And so LogicWorks can be kind of buggy. It has a lot of other bugs when I've used it. It's really annoying to use. It's kind of like working with paint. That's what it feels like. Maybe I'm just really bad at it, but I'll try to select wires and it won't actually connect the chips together. It'll look like they're connected, but they're not actually connected. You have to go through your big circuit and figure out which wire wasn't actually connected. So it does a lot of fun things like that. And that's what I mean by a user-friendly interface. Just an interface that's intuitive to work with, because a lot of the programs that I've looked at with this don't have an intuitive interface. And they don't actually work a lot of the time. That's just it messing up continually. And this is GETA. This is one of the open source projects that they have for circuit schematic design, and its interface is a lot nicer. It's a lot easier to use. I like working with it better, but the not user-friendly part is that to work with GETA, you still have to do a lot of command line stuff. And if you want to, GETA has a lot of different parts, and to use the different parts, you have to use a lot of command line stuff, and it's hard to go between the different parts of the program. And that's not very easy for people who are going to actually use it, like electrical engineers. Maybe it's fine for computer scientists who actually know what they're doing, they know how to work Linux, and they know how to do that stuff, but it's not as easy for electrical engineers who are actually going to be using this program. That's how I feel when I use it anyway. So the next part is I want it to be cross-platform. I want it to work on everything. A lot of the programs that exist, there aren't many that actually work on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. Not a lot of them actually do that. And some of them claim to, but it's really actually pretty difficult to get them to work on all three of them. And one of the most popular open source programs for this right now, GETA, it is mostly for Linux, and it's supposed to work also for Mac, but with a lot of bugs as far as I've seen. And theoretically works on Windows, which means you have to really know what you're doing to actually get it to work on Windows. And I'm sure people who use this program don't actually want to have to deal with that. They would just want to use the program. So I want my program to be able to work on all of these nicely. So integrated environment, what does that mean? So when you're going from your block diagram, your initial design, to your printed circuit board, there are a lot of steps in between. You have to design it, and then you have to make a net list, and then you have to get it ready for the printed circuit board. You have to do a lot of things, and what happens is you'll end up using a lot of different programs to get it from from the initial step to the actual printed circuit board. You have to go through a lot of things. And it's really annoying to have all those different programs. And what I want is to have all of it just in one program. So an integrated environment, I just want it all to be together so you don't have to switch between programs to actually get it to your final product. And this is an example. Geta has all the parts you need to get fast up, but it has them really, it's more of a suite than an integrated environment, where you have to download a lot of different things and get them to work together to actually get your thing to final product. And this is an example. This is their download page for Geta. So you go to their download page and they have about 100 different links, and you click on one link, and then they have 100 different other links for other things you need to download. So you click on one, and there are 100 different other links. There are just a lot of things to download. And to me, that's really obnoxious to have to get all the things together and get them working together. I would rather have it all just as one thing that is within, is an integrated environment, basically. So my goals for this project, I've been bashing on the other programs a lot, but honestly, they are really good programs. And I don't know if I'm hoping to get to the point where I can be as good as the other programs and do what they do and try to get the kinks out that they have. I've got the back end for digital circuits, mostly working, and I would like to have, by the end of the summer at least, a graphical interface and have something where I can actually make simple circuits with the program. That's what I would like to see. That was in progress too. So, thanks to Professor Morkey, Sean Sullivan, and everyone else at RCOS. Any questions?
What's the development exactly going to do the GUI?
The GUI, I'm using OpenGL3 for that, which is mostly C++. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the back end in C++.
How easy is to package that get kind of thing? Is it
I just got it a little while ago, and I'm still working with it. And I've looked at what other people have said about it, and they've had a lot of difficulty. And what happens too is you get all the pieces, and the command line part, when you want to go from like your circuit schematic to your net list, you have to go into the command line and tell it to use this program so I can have my net list from this other program. So even though they all act as different programs, so it's a suite, not one big program that all works together. I don't actually know how hard it is though. Pretty hard for me.
Do you know if any of your competitors are open source?
Geta is open source, and then I don't know how to pronounce it. It's KiCad is also open source, and I haven't looked at KiCad yet. I've only looked at Geta, but there are a couple open source ones. Geta is the most popular one.